Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over all the NBA games for Tuesday, April 6, 2021. I'm going to show you both sides of each game. It's going to be up to you to determine who you think is going to win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon where my picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into today's games. We have the Bulls versus the Pacers, Pelicans, Hawks, Sixers, Celtics, Lakers, Raptors, Grizzlies, Heat, Pistons, Nuggets, Bucks, Warriors, Trailblazers, and the Clippers. So a fair amount of games on today's board. So we're just going to run through them quickly. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time here in this video, but I just want to highlight, both sides. And that way it'll give you a jumping off point, a starting point to where you can make a decision on if anything catches your eye or if you like anything. Alright, so we got the Bulls and the Pacers. Daily numbers on this side, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. Whoop, went way too hardcore on that. Game numbers on this side, away team up top, head to head in the middle, home team at the bottom. Pacers play tomorrow, so be on the lookout for when you do games that teams are playing back-to-back games. Numbers that can hit today can hit tomorrow. It's very interchangeable in that sense. So let's highlight Pacers. If Pacers are going to win this game, it'd be the 23rd away game for the Bulls, 23rd home game for the Pacers. They would get their 23rd win for this season. They would sit on 106 regular season head-to-head wins, or head-to-head losses against the Bulls with a win. Today does have 106 date numerology on the Hebrew religious. This is the last time these two teams face each other for the season, so someone's going to go 2-1 and 1-2. This can actually favor the Bulls. If Bulls win this game, they would become 2-1, like 21 head-to-head against the Pacers for the season, as Bulls get their 21st win for the season. On the Pacers side, they'd be 1-2, like 12. Bulls would be sitting on 12 away losses with the win. And Bulls can get their 11th away win. Today has 31 date numerology on the Gregorian, the 11th prime number. It also has 15 date numerology, and Pacers would get their 15th home loss. So Pacers can sit on 26 losses for the season with the win, and they would get their 101st all-time head-to-head win against the Bulls. 101 is the 26 prime number, so that's a possibility. And what else? The 2029. 29 is the 10th prime number. They can sit on 10 away wins with the loss. That's a possibility. 96. Bulls could sit on 96 regular season head-to-head losses against Pacers. It is the 96th day of the Gregorian year. So there's different. There's different. There's a couple different numbers here that you can play with, and just see which one you like better. Looking back and forth. Let's keep it going. We got 7 other games. Pelicans versus Hawks. So first thing we'll look at is, let's look at the light blues. So 24th away game, 22nd home game. Pelicans can sit on 22 wins for the season. Hawks can sit on 24 losses for the season. It is the 39th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two. 24 sums to 167, the 39th prime. And 22 sums to 39. So that's why I have those all marked in light blue. They all have like a connection with each other. So in a sense, Pelicans would sit on 22 as Hawks sit on 24. Today is the 24th day of the Hebrew religious year, so that kind of adds to the 24s. 31 date numerology and 51 date numerology on the Gregorian. Hawks 51st game of the season. 31 sums to 134. Hawks coach can become 13-4, like 134 for a record as a coach for the Hawks. Pelicans would get their 28th loss for the season. 28 sums to 51. And then also 15 date numerology. they would get their 15th road loss. 15 sums to 124. The Pelicans coach would become 412. Anagram of 124. But Pelicans, they could get their revenge against the Hawks and become 1-1 head-to-head against for this season with the win. If Pelicans were to win, they become 1-1. Today does have 31-date numerology, the 11th prime. Hawks would become 12-10 at home with the home record, with the loss 121. If we just look at the 121 and the 1210, 121 has a square root of an 11, so that would kind of go with that. And either way, one of these two teams are going to get their 20th all-time head-to-head win against the other. I suppose Hawks could sweep Pelicans 2-0 as they get their 20th all-time head-to-head win, so that's a possibility. Along with the 121, if Pelicans were to even the score with 11, Hawks become 12-10, like 121, which has a square root of an 11. Hawks would get their 25th loss for the season. 25 sums to 121. Yep. So that works out. Let's go to the next game. Sixers and Celtics. Sixers, it's their 26th away game. Celtics, it's their 25th home game. Celtics are going to either become 26-25 or 25-26. Either which way, I guess it doesn't matter. Celtics could become 16-9 at home with a win. Today does have 169-date numerology on the Hebrew Civil. Both of these teams, it's their 51st game of the season. 51-date numerology. 51 does sum to 35. Sixers can get their 35th win for the season. Sixers would get their 15th road win as Celtics sit on 15 home wins, 15-date numerology, as well as 31, the 11th prime. Sixers be 15-11 on the road. The only thing that gets me is that Sixers have won the last two games, and so this one they can sweep 3-0, like 30. But what I've noticed so far is teams aren't really sweeping the teams. They usually get revenge, win at least one game. If it's a series of two, it's usually 1-1. More often than not. Not always, but more often than not. And if it's a series of three, one of the teams are going to get at least one win out of the 3 games. And so this is what makes me nervous is these numbers are good. They're 51-35, 15-11. But I don't know if they would actually sweep them 3-0 for the season. I feel like Celtics may get one win. May. If they do, Celtics would be 1-2, like 12, head-to-head against the Sixers, and Sixers would get their 12th road loss for this season. It's real tough with the Celtics schedule being like this. Not schedule, but record. With it being the 26th away game and 25th home game for the Celtics. 26-25, either which way, so that doesn't really help. But if Celtics did win this game, they would get their 325th all-time head-to-head win against the Sixers. 325. That's a 25th triangular number. So maybe that would go with them sitting on 25 in their 25th home. So that could work maybe. But definitely play around with those numbers and just see what makes the most sense to you. Alright, Lakers versus Raptors, 31-date numerology on the Gregorian, 51-date numerology on the Gregorian. It's both these teams' 51st game of the season. Lakers come into this game with 31 wins for the season. Raptors with the loss could get their 31st loss for the season. Lakers come in with 15 road wins. It is a day with 15-date numerology. Lakers can get their 29th all-time head-to-head win against the Raptors, the 10th prime number, as they become 1-0 head-to-head against the Raptors for the season, like 10. But Raptors, their coach, he can get his 132nd win regular season. Today is the 200th day of the Hebrew Civil Year. 200 sums to 132, and it sums to 51. 51-date numerology on the Gregorian. It's both these teams' 51st game of the season. Um, Lakers could get their 20th loss for the season as they get their 20th all-time head-to-head loss against the Raptors. Raptors would be getting that 20th all-time head-to-head win. Raptors, they could get their 21st win for the season as their coach sits on 73 regular season losses. 73, the 21st prime number. Alright, let's keep it going. Grizzlies Heat. Today is the 24th day on the Hebrew Religious. Grizzlies could just become 24-24 for a season record with a loss. Heat would sit on 24 losses with the win. It's the 22nd away game for the Grizzlies, 27th home game for the Heat. The Heat can get their 27th win for the season, or these two can become 27-22 all-time head-to-head against the other with a Grizzlies win. So it being the 22nd away game, 27th home, that can favor the Grizzlies with the 27-22 all-time head-to-head record, or it could just go with the 27 Heat getting their 27th win in their 27th home game. Today does have 15 and 51 date numerology on the Gregorian. 51st game for the Heat. They would get their 15th home game. Heat could even tie the series 1-1 head-to-head against the Grizzlies. 31 date numerology, the 11th prime, like 1-1. Grizzlies coach, it's his 121st regular season game. Grizzlies could become 12-10 on the road with a loss, like 121. And 121 has a square root of an 11, so that would play in favor of the Heat as well. For the Grizzlies, today does have 15 date numerology. 15 sums to 34. With the win, Grizzlies could become 13-9 for a road record. 139 is the 34th prime number. They would sit on that 9 losses as they sit on 23 losses for the season. 23 the 9th prime. 48th game. 49th. 25 sums to 49. It being the 49th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two. Grizzlies could get their 25th win for the season as Heat gets their 25th loss for the season. The number 25 does sum to 49 in one of the 4 base ciphers. Alright, let's keep it going. Pistons versus the Nuggets. 15 and 51 date numerology on the Gregorian in the 51st game of the season for Pistons. They can sit on 15 wins for the season with a loss. Nuggets would sit on 51 all-time head-to-head losses against the Pistons with a win. But Nuggets come in to this game sitting on 31 wins for the season. Today does have 31 date numerology on the Gregorian, so they can either sit on that 31 or it's a good sign for them to win coming in with 31. It's 2 different ways to look at it. Same with the 15 for the Pistons. Nuggets, they could become 16-9 at home with the win today with 169 date numerology on the Hebrew Civil. The thing with this team though, and the coach, they play tomorrow as well. They play back-to-back, and this is a great example of how numbers can hit either today or tomorrow. It's really a coin flip. It's so hard to judge. You just have to make a guess, really. And what I mean is Nuggets, their coach, he can get his 268th regular season loss for his career and his 201st loss regular season as a coach for Nuggets. He can either get that today or tomorrow, or not at all, I suppose. But if he were to get it today or tomorrow, it would make sense because, well, tomorrow is a day leaving 268 left on the Gregorian, and it's the 201st day on the Hebrew Civil. So Nuggets, basically, if they were to lose today, their coach would go into tomorrow sitting on 268 as well as 201, a day that leaves 268 left for the Gregorian, and it's the 201st for the Hebrew Civil. Or the Nuggets could win today, and then tomorrow the coach can get his 268th and his 201 on the 268 left, 201st day. And so that's what I mean when I tell you there's these games that are back to back that can hit numbers that can hit today or tomorrow. That scenario could really go either way. And today is the 200th day, and so maybe it's a 200th day with 169 date numerology. So maybe Nuggets become 16-9, and the coach sits on 200, and then tomorrow he gets his 268 and 201. So you're gonna have to like make that judgment, make that call if that's the case or not, if you believe that that's the case or not. Or Nuggets can just get their 10th home loss for the season as the Pistons become 1-0 head to head against Nuggets like 10. You can just go with something like that. Pistons would get their 7th road win for the season as their coach gets his 77th win as a coach for Pistons regular season. And with Pistons having it being their 51st game of the season, 51 date numerology on the Gregorian, 51 sums to 35, and they could just sit on 35 losses for the season with a win as they get their 16th win. So it could be for the Pistons. All right, let's keep it going. Bucks versus the Warriors. 156 all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams. Bucks can get their 33rd win for the season. Warriors can get their 28th loss for the season. 28 sums to 156. 33 sums to 156. 28 also sums to 51. Today with 51 date numerology on the Gregorian. Warriors 51st game. 156th all time. Bucks can get their 33rd win. Warriors can get their 28th loss. Potentially. Because it is the 24th day on the Hebrew Religious, and Warriors could just get their 24th win for the season in their 24th home game. You know, one of these teams is going to get their 15th win. Bucks can get their 15th road win, or Warriors can get their 15th home win. Today does have 15 date numerology on the Gregorian. If Bucks lose, they would get their 11th road loss as Warriors even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Bucks, like an 11, 31 date numerology on the Gregorian, the 11th prime number. But the Warriors, you know, even though they have the 24 connection, it's the 24th day on the Hebrew Religious. It's also a day leaving 360 left in the Hebrew Religious year, and the Warriors coach, he could just sit on that 360 wins regular season with the loss. Goes either way, the 24 or the 360. Which would you think it would be? You have to make that guess. You have to make that decision. And last game, Trailblazers versus the Clippers. Trailblazers could just get their 31st win for the season. Today with 31 date numerology on the Gregorian. Or the Clippers can get their 34th win for the season. 15 date numerology on the Gregorian. 15 sums to 34. Today does have 31 date numerology on the Gregorian. If Blazers were to get their 31st win for the season, 31 is the 11th prime number, and they would even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Clippers, like an 11 with the win. Blazers could become 16-9 on the road with the win, like 169. Hebrew Civil has 169 date numerology. But Blazers could just get their 20th loss for the season. And Clippers would up the series. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Clippers would up the series 2-0 head-to-head against the Blazers like 20. Just as easily. I don't see why that couldn't happen. And then that 34 would come into play. 15 date numerology, 15 sums of 34. 198. I didn't see a whole lot with the 190 or the 19. Um, 83, the 23rd prime. 85. I mean, Trailblazers with the loss, their record is 30-20. It kind of looks like a number 32. Like the 32 sums to 50, and it sums to 85. It is their 50th game, and Clippers could get their 85th all-time head-to-head win against. 981, 391, 1482. I'm gonna have to keep looking at this one. There's not a whole lot here. At least as of right now. I'm just kind of skimming through this. I'm trying to hit the highlights for you guys. I don't want to make this video too long. Um, One thing I didn't think about the Pistons, they could get their 16th win for the season. 16 sums to 96. Today is the 96th day on the Gregorian year. So that could be for Pistons. Maybe, potentially. Same with Lakers. They can get their 16th road win. That would go with it. Sixers can sit on 16 losses with the win. I think that's it. Hopefully this helps, guys. Hopefully you got some information for both sides, something to build off of. I'm going to keep looking at this game. I'm not totally sure. I think I've missed a few things here. Something's going over my head with this one, and I'll spot it eventually. Or maybe not at all. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps.